Hi friends, your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons on the big screen and the small screen. So it's a big deal. I do believe that Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves was a success. I can't say it's a huge success, but I do think it was a success. Made $207 million. That's more than any. That is more. That's more than any Dungeons and Dragons movie has ever made. And in addition to that, that's more than every tabletop role playing game movie has ever made ever. Right? Like so, because frankly, I don't think there are any other. I don't think a single other tabletop role playing game has ever had a movie, which is pretty wild. I guess it gets complicated if you start talking about IPs. But oh yeah, for IPs that originated in tabletop role playing games, there's no two ways about it. D&D is massively successful, and that movie literally surpassed all other movies combined. But we recently had the Emmys, and Dan Morell broke it down. He's a charts guy. He's absolutely brilliant. He's probably the best dude with charts on the internet, especially for entertainment. No question. He's extremely good at what he does. And he did a chart, and he said, hey, take a look at the percentage here of all the television shows that were nominated for 10 or more Emmys. This is their percentage conversion, right? There were like 15 shows on this list. It was like easily a dozen. All right, definitely 10, between 10 and 15. And I was very and I looked at the list. And I was like, wait a second. This list is a really wide array of genres, right? It had science fiction on it, Andor. It had comedy on it, SNL. It had The Studio was another comedy. The Pit, so that's like a medical drama, right? It had Severance, which is science fiction. There were The Penguin, which is a superhero show. Now, actually, you know what? I think calling The Penguin a superhero show is cheating. It was really, hey everybody, here's The Sopranos, and Batman somewhere, like nothing in the show actually is comic book in any way. It was just like Sopranos with a superhero sticker put on it. I enjoyed the show. It was good. It could have had a better ending, but superhero somewhat, and so also, but there were every single genre was here except one. Not a single fantasy show made that list. Also, The Bear, a show about cooking was on there. There were a ton of shows on this list. This list was very long and very varied, right, across genres. But it didn't work, right? And what's really sad is, so you have that situation, right, with all those shows, but fantasy is nowhere on it. Nowhere, right? Now, and also right now on the small screen, fantasy is almost non-existent, right? We have Legends of Vox Machina, we have Lord of the Rings, the Power of the Rings, and boy, I'll tell you, the Lord of the Rings, Power of the Rings, doesn't even count, because man, that thing, it doesn't matter how many people view it, there seems to be nothing but hate for it everywhere, right? There's no, you can't, it's hard to even find a super fan of that show, right? Everybody who watches it, like I watched it, I wish they would make it better, but everybody's like, but if they're gonna put on a Lord of the Rings show, I'm gonna watch it, so it's almost like the fans are held hostage or something. It's a very strange show. So my point is, we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do to get fantasy accessible on the small screen and on the big screen. It's an extremely unattractive genre specifically for the people who create it. It costs a fortune. You can't put any sponsorship on it. It's extremely difficult to put any sponsorship on it. They put one. You put one Starbucks coffee. You put one Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones, and everybody gets upset, right? See, the sponsorship is so it costs more than every other genre, and there are less ways to monetize it. It is extremely difficult. So I think it's gonna we have a lot. We're gonna have to put our thinking caps on and figure out how to get this genre over the line, because other genres are getting there, and there should have been a single fantasy show on that list, and there wasn't. Not a single one. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion, nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.